John, which says, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. And that words continue to be a very special and significant part of my priesthood. One of also the special experience that is always dear to my heart is to be able to celebrate Mass for a soul parishioner in Leigh Creek. There is no other way to go but to the heart of God. Good day. Do you know what's good thing about being a priest in the Outback? Come and join me. Let's go. So I'm originally from the Philippines, and I grew up in a village located in an island at the center of the biggest lake in the Philippines called Laguna. Mom and Dad was so kind to us, together with my 3 siblings. I really had a beautiful childhood. I really feel blessed being a member of that beautiful family. From that family, I first experienced the love of God, which is so important for any person growing up. It's actually Mom who is quite active in the local church. She serves a lot in our local parish pastoral council, and with her zeal and devotion to God through the church, I became a member of the altar servers in our local parish. And growing up, I always look forward to serving at Mass. I didn't know anything about vocation then, but just to be in the presence of Jesus in the Eucharist is something that is always very special and meaningful to me. We have a missionary priest from Belgium at that time, and this priest was so dedicated. He is quite very kind to the altar servers and also to the community. So growing up, that is a wonderful experience for me of the kindness and the goodness of the church through my mom and through that missionary priest. One of the most important things that I did with faith during that time is to be a member of the parish youth group. As a member of the youth group, we do a lot in relation to promoting and spreading God's love to people of my age. After high school, I went to the university in Manila. And one of the highlights in university is becoming part of the Christ Youth in Action. It's an organization of the students who come to know and to love and serve the Lord. And in that community, I really developed my personal love for Jesus, and the love to evangelize other young people. The leaders in that community inspired me a lot to live a life in service for others. They helped me to develop my leadership skills and also my administrative things. 5 years in uni, I studied computer engineering, and I developed so many friendship with that. I think friendship is very important because it allows us to see others, see Christ in others. Welcome to the Outback. My friends, flies would like to welcome you as well. Mosquitoes and flies are ordinary day-to-day, part of the ordinary day-to-day life in the Outback, especially during summertime. Going back to my life in the Philippines after university, I was so blessed to find a job immediately after graduation. I was able to practice my computer engineering degree. Looking back, I really felt God's blessing in my time as a corporate person. I worked for 9 years in the Philippines, and I would say that all those moments were beautiful experience of God's providence for me and my family. I have a good job, I have good salary, and I really felt that God is blessing me so much. But there was a point in my life that there's this seeming emptiness in my life. That beautiful reminder of Saint Augustine to all of us that our life is restless until it rests in the Lord. When I felt that restlessness, I started to be serious about my vocation in life. And so, I started to discern whether to continue on with the path to priesthood or to married life. So I thought I'm already in the right age to get married, but I have this sense of call from the Lord to the priesthood. And so I tried to check first the priestly vocation in me. So I discerned with 3 different religious orders in the Philippines, but the 2 religious orders that I checked first seemingly not fit with me. And so I was introduced to this Australian religious order whose mission is in the Philippines. And so I considered them, and with the help of one of my leaders in the community, I was introduced to them. I was able to spend time with them, to pray with them, and to find if God is calling me in that religious group. And true enough, in God's goodness and grace, I was able to apply to them, and they accepted me. My seminary life is divided into 2. When in 2009, I was accepted in a religious order whose mission was in the Philippines. So I applied in the Philippines, and I was sent to Australia for my seminary formation. So in that religious order, I stayed for 2.5 years, and I would say that it's a very blessed time for me. I really love the brothers, and they've been so supportive and very kind to me. But after 2.5 years, I felt that it is not really where the Lord is calling me. I felt that it is not the best place of the way I might express my priesthood. It's a very difficult decision and a very sad time for me also, because all these brothers has been a big part of me after 2.5 years. So I say goodbye to them, and I was in this time and place of my vocation that I'm really questioning the Lord. Lord, why did you brought me to Australia if you don't want me to be a priest for this congregation? And so one of my realization is they are God's way for me to find my vocation in Australia. So before I leave for the Philippines, I was able to apply to the Diocese of Port Pirie, of which I am a priest now. And I had a beautiful conversation with Bishop Greg that time. And so after the interview, I was able to went back home to the Philippines around July of 2012. I remember reaching home then, and after being at home for quite some time, I realized, I need to work now. I'm a computer engineer anyway, and being able to spend 2.5 years in the seminary in Australia, I thought I really need to start working so that I have some money to spend. But I remember those times that, because I really have this felt of the call to the priesthood, and I really want to be a priest. So even though I'm applying for a job as a computer engineer, I always put a very high price of salary so that I will not be accepted in any job. It's really funny. I'm trying to apply, but at the back of my mind, I was like praying, Lord, I hope I won't be accepted, because I knew that if I will be accepted, that will be the end of my vocation to the priesthood. But God really works in the best timing. After 3 weeks in the Philippines, Bishop Greg sent me this beautiful letter telling that I am accepted to be a seminarian for the Diocese of Port Pirie. So this struggle of being an older seminarian and with younger seminarians is really a challenge at times. But one of the most beautiful thing, I guess, is I have few seminarians in the seminary who was of my same age. So they are like my companions on the journey. And the seminary and the formators at that time were so supportive of me. And so I just continue on trusting the Lord and being patient in the formation years. And after 3.5 years in 2015, God in His goodness allowed me to be ordained as a priest. So on March 7, 2015, I was the first priest to be ordained after 17 years in the Diocese of Port Pirie. So I not only have this great joy in my heart, but also the entire diocese was so happy that finally there's another priest for the diocese in this beautiful Port Pirie in South Australia. There are so many beautiful experiences that I have had over the years. The celebration of the sacrament is always one thing that really inspires me, and strengthens me, and encourages me in my vocation. The celebration of baptism, marriages, and even the funerals are source of affirmation of God's vocation in me. Every time I say the words of absolution, I always feel the joy and the lightness of the heart of the penitent, knowing that God has really forgiven them. As a priest in the Outback at the moment, I have this beautiful experience of closeness to my parishioners. They have been very supportive and very kind to me. In particular, I have these 3 elderly men whom I always spend time on Tuesday and Thursday. I spend time with them after Mass, and we go out to local cafes for coffee. And just to be with them is a beautiful experience of really listening to their wisdom and being introduced in the community, even those who are non-Catholics, because they have been in the community almost all their lifetime. They know everyone in the community. So just spending time with them in that coffee shop, in those coffee shop, I was able to minister in one way or another. One of also the special experience that is always dear to my heart is to be able to celebrate Mass for a sole parishioner in Leigh Creek, which is extra 300 kilometers drive to my home parish. Once in a while, I'll go to that place, and there's always this one person who go to that Mass. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is just to stop that Mass. There's only one person there anyway, but as my previous bishop says, every person in the diocese is important. Every person is loved by God. And also it's like remembering that beautiful gospel of the lost sheep. The Lord left the 91 to find this one lost sheep. Probably he's not the one who is lost because he's probably holier than me. But just to be able to celebrate that beautiful sacrament of Mass for that only person is something so special always. There are many times that I feel like, Lord, should I continue on going there? But every time I go there, I would leave that town very refreshed because I know I was able to bring one soul to Jesus. I have 3 regular parishes that I minister to on a weekend, and most of them are very small in numbers. The parish of Corn, there's only between 20 to 30 people who attend Mass on a Sunday. In Cariton, which is 140 kilometers return to Corn, there's only between 7 to 10 people who goes to Mass. And in Vocare, there's only 15 to 20 people who goes to Mass, and it's another 140 kilometers return to Corn. But these beautiful people are just so faithful to God because they know that God has been faithful to them all their lifetime. Small or sometimes one the Son, the Holy Spirit. So I really pray that I'll be able to remain faithful to God also in my priesthood and in my Christian life, because the best thing that can happen in our lives is to really offer our lives to God and be faithful in the end. Despite the difference of this place from where I grew up, I always felt God giving me the joy and assuring me that I'm in the right place. And despite the twists and turns of my vocation, God has allowed me to reach this far.
Problems, worries, sadness. Are you seeking solutions?
Bible says,
Do not be anxious about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Choose faith over fear.